Testing. Oh. Hello, everyone. Hi. Hate to interrupt you in your very nice chats, but if you could take a seat, I think we will start very soon. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, or should I say, goedenamiddag, right? Yeah, my Dutch is getting along. Welcome to Ghent, the Erasmus Destination of the Year. I'm your host for today. My name is Nicolina. I am a former board member of ESN International and actually one of the proud co-founders of this initiative, so I'm very happy to be here with you today. And I want to say thank you for joining us today for this event. Erasmus Destination of the Year as an initiative has been founded almost 2 years ago actually, as an initiative to celebrate the work that goes into creating high-quality mobility experiences and all the collaboration that goes into it. So collaboration between key institutions such as higher education institutions, the city governments, but also student associations that support students throughout their mobility journeys. I'm very happy that during this event you will hear perspectives from all of those stakeholders and all of those representatives, but we wouldn't be student representatives if we didn't also include the voices of students. So I'm happy that you will hear directly from the students, current and maybe some former students, what it is that makes Ghent so special, what is it that makes it such a vibrant student city, and what is it that makes Erasmus mobility such a special experience. So without further ado, I would like to invite the rector of the University of Ghent to give you a warm welcome to their city. Rick van Walle, if you can join me.
Rick van Walle can join you. Goedemiddag. Dear representatives of the European Commission, dear colleagues of Ghent University and of other higher education institutions here in Ghent as well, of course, dear presidents and board members of ESN International, ESN Belgium, and ESN Ghent, but of course, above all, dear students. First of all, welcome to the city of Ghent, welcome here at Ghent University. And although I can unfortunately not stay for the rest of the program this afternoon, I am very glad I can welcome you here in person, here in our Aula Academica. I'm doing so not just to underline how honored we feel that you proclaimed Ghent as the Erasmus Destination of the Year, but also because of today's focus is very dear to me, the focus being the importance of student mobility and its impact on young people's lives. Actually, I have personally experienced how rewarding and even impactful spending some time abroad can be. And I still witness this when I meet with our international students, with international alumni, with our international staff. Yet, and we all know that, studying abroad still comes with its challenges, so to speak, which must be properly addressed and which do not always fit in with the regular services a university has on offer. And hence, I take special pride in the fact that the Erasmus Destination of the Year initiative acknowledges our efforts in this respect, as it, and I will quote now, as it seeks to identify great practices in supporting student mobility at the city level, showcasing the role that local student associations can play in making their cities better mobility destinations and improving the quality and the impact of mobility experiences. End of the quote. Now this points to the importance of local students' associations. Ghent University has a long, and I dare to say also a strong tradition of taking student representation as well as engagement in student associations seriously, even very seriously. Already back in the 1960s, Ghent University students could participate in decision-taking and making processes at our university. This tradition still stands strong. It has also played a decisive role in the success of ESN Ghent and even of the Erasmus student network in general. Ghent is indeed more or less sacred ground for the Erasmus student network. As many of you probably know, it was in this city, here in Ghent, and at the initiative of our university, Ghent University, that very soon after the return of the first Erasmus students from their pioneering stays abroad, and this was in 1989, they were gathered here for a meeting with representatives of what is now the European Commission and with a few colleagues from international offices. This was here in Ghent, back in 1989 already. Already 35 years ago, it was clear that peer support would be key for the further success of the Erasmus program. And as a result, the Erasmus Student Network was initiated with support from the European Commission and local universities, like Ghent University. Ghent was home to one of the first ESN chapters, and ESN Ghent very soon became a solid support factor for the international students here in Ghent. And one of the reasons of the success is that it was at that time obligatory for all faculty student organizations applying for university subsidies to have a so-called Erasmus Priestess within their ranks. So is students in the board of the student organization taking the responsibility for incoming exchange students. And consequently, already in the early 90s, all faculties at Ghent University had a bunch of dedicated students gathered in ESN Ghent to support the growing number of incoming Erasmus students. By the way, one of these ESN pioneers, I'm just mentioning pour la petite histoire, as they say it in French. One of these ESN pioneers is our actual head of internationalization, Frederick de Decker. Even though the obligation of an Erasmus Priestess was meanwhile disappeared, ESN keeps playing this crucial supporting role until now, until present. With annually about 1,700 exchange students and almost 5,000 international students registering at our university and more than 2,000 Ghent University students leaving for a study stay abroad yearly, the challenges remain plenty. And these are only the numbers of Ghent University, while, of course, ESN Ghent not only supports the students stemming from our university, but also these of the other higher education institutions here in the city of Ghent, making it a unique kind of cooperation and of support structure. And together, we continue tackling these challenges, and I am confident, I'm really confident, that ESN Ghent will still be around and remain a bright driver and a reliable partner of our university's international policy in the decades to come. In short, and even though I might not be the most objective person in this respect, I realize that I believe that no one will deny that it is very deserved that all these efforts, not only of ESN Ghent, but also of the city of Ghent and the staff of the international relations offices of the various universities and university colleges here in Ghent, have been highly appreciated. Erasmus Destination of the Year is a title we are truly proud of. It's a title that we deserve. And at the eve of this special year for our city, by the way, Ghent is the European Youth Capital 2024. So at the eve of this special year, it is a great opportunity to wholeheartedly thank all these involved for all their efforts. The celebration is very timely and, as I said, very well deserved as well. So enjoy this afternoon's program. Enjoy your stay in the city of Ghent. Enjoy your stay at our university. It is the city of Ghent. It is, as our Erasmus students know, of course, it's really a great place to be. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. van der Walle. I think that the phrase sacred ground to describe Ghent as a place is going to enter definitely the ESN dictionary, because honestly, I think it's one of the best descriptors I've heard recently. So thank you so much for all the kind words and all the history that you took us through. I think it is a very important part of our existence. Next, I would like to invite to the stage Svava Finsen, Policy Officer at the European Commission, to give us more of a institutional perspective from the EU level. Svava?
Thank you, and hello everyone. I will admit that this is only my second time in Ghent, but I can see some very good aspects already, so I just have to come here more often. But I'm very happy to be here with you today to join you in this celebration. I had the pleasure of attending this year's Erasmus Generation meeting in Bucharest last April, which was very inspiring, I have to say. And during this event, we had some input from the representative of the previous winner in Thessaloniki. And while I knew this past edition of the Erasmus Destination of the Year had been successful, I was pleasantly surprised when I was listening to that representative and hearing about their experiences and how big of a reach winning this competition really had. The media interest, the engagement of all the different stakeholders, all the actors in the city, it really showed how successful initiatives like this one can be in getting different people involved in the internationalization of higher education institutions, their students, and their cities. So I was very happy to be invited back again here for this one. So this sense of community and involvement of stakeholders outside the higher education institutions themselves is very important to the Erasmus Plus program. One of the priorities of the program across all the education and training sectors is participation in democratic life, common values, and civic engagement. Sometimes I have described this priority as kind of being the forgotten middle child of our horizontal priorities, because the other three priorities that we have, the sustainability, the digitalization, and inclusion, they often get a bit more attention than this priority. And while I think the other priorities are very important, and important to talk about, I think this civic engagement priority could take a bit of more of a center stage at this time in today's environment and with the European elections coming up next year. We have evidence from studies, both from ESN and from the Erasmus 2019 Impact Study, that the Erasmus program fosters a positive attitude towards multicultural awareness, and mobile students report a stronger sense of European identity. So we know that the program has some really positive effects on participants. Nevertheless, we can sometimes see that international students and exchange students have a hard time feeling integrated in the hosting communities and can find it hard to make connections with locals. And I can speak from experience. When I did my exchange, I think I spent most of my time with the international students and didn't really connect with the local community, which is something that I regret a little bit now. So what this means is that there is room to improve. There is still space to promote and organize activities that allow mobile participants to be civically engaged, to develop their skills beyond the formal education setting, or to volunteer or take part in their local society. And there are opportunities to create stronger relationships between higher education institutions, students, and their communities. I wanted also to use this opportunity, since I'm here with you, to mention a few other things that are going on with the European Commission at the moment when it comes to higher education. In my unit these days, we are really thinking and talking about the future. The current Erasmus program only started in 2021, and we will not see a new edition until after 2027, but we're already thinking what we keep, what we can improve, and how we can encourage more and more students to seek out an international experience. Of course, we don't do this alone, and I wanted to bring your attention today to an open public consultation on the current program and the past program that is ongoing until the 8th of December. I don't have a link to share with you, but I invite you all to go to your search engine of choice and type in "share your views on Erasmus," and I'm sure you will easily find this consultation. It's open to everyone, not just students who have been on mobility, but students who are maybe thinking about going on mobility, those who have not even thought about it. Another thing that's closely related to the goals of what we're trying to achieve with the Erasmus program is the work that we have been doing recently on a new learning mobility framework. On the 15th of November, the Commission adopted a proposal for a Council recommendation called Europe on the Move, Learning Mobility Opportunities for Everyone, as a part of the new talent mobility package. And I also want to take the opportunity to say thank you to ESN for their contribution to this learning mobility framework. This learning mobility framework is replacing the Youth on the Move framework from 2011, if anyone is familiar with that. And this time we are including also all the other education and training sectors. So not just focusing on higher education, but we're also focusing on schools, adult education, vocational education and training, youth and sport. So the overall goals for this framework are to make learning mobility an integral part of all education and training sectors, and to increase the share of learners in the EU who benefit from learning mobility. So basically what we want is to make learning mobility the norm rather than the exception. But of course this doesn't mean that every student has to go on a semester or a year abroad, but we would really like everyone to have the opportunity to be able to choose to have an international experience if they want it. Our target for 2030 is that the share of graduates with a learning mobility experience should be at least 25%. I will also just mention a few of the things in the recommendation that are relevant to higher education. For example, the benefits of introducing mobility windows in study programs, to have this dedicated time period when mobilities are made easier for participants. We are also encouraging member states to support the development of a variety of different mobility formats, such as blended short-term mobilities, because we know that mobility is not one size fits all, and different groups of students have different needs and different interests when it comes to choosing their mobility formats. One other part that's highlighted in the Learning Mobility Framework is the importance of cooperation between stakeholders to be able to achieve these equal opportunities for everyone. This cooperation is very important and begins importantly within the higher education institutions themselves between the different offices of the universities. But it also needs to be expanded to the outside. And we are recommending that cooperation between regional and local authorities is fostered, as well as cooperation with non-governmental organizations, private bodies, and the goal is to promote and support learning mobility. So you see that everything is connected, and this is of course related to what I mentioned before, and this priority of civic engagement. We're highlighting the importance of integrating students in the local communities, encouraging host organizations to ensure smooth reception of incoming learners, and providing them with a welcoming culture. We recommend to member states to encourage all participants, students and staff to participate in the life of local communities, for example, by seeking out volunteering experiences. So I think there is always room to improve when it comes to engaging students in the local communities, but initiatives such as this one are a great way to start the conversation. Thank you.
And last but not least, I would like to invite to the stage the person in charge of the initiative this year, my lovely successor, Lina Mahoric from the Erasmus Student Network.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Nina. Dear guests, dear colleagues, and dear students, on behalf of the Erasmus Student Network, it is my great pleasure to extend a warm welcome to each and every one of you at the Erasmus Destination of the Year 2023 conference. Today, we gather not just as participants, but as contributors to a celebration of excellence in supporting international student mobility. The Erasmus Plus program is more than just an exchange program. It is a testament to the power of collaboration and inclusivity in education. And it has been enriching the lives of thousands of people for over 3 decades. From the very beginning, it was able to light a spark in its participants. This spark ignited exactly here, around 35 years ago, in the city of Ghent, when a group of Erasmus students came back from their mobility and decided to start the movement of the Erasmus generation. The Erasmus Student Network was born, and ever since that day, we have been working towards enriching society through international student mobility. We often think that changes are made in big meeting rooms and by big names, but what brings the mightiest change is a student helping another student to find a new home after arriving at their mobility destination, giving them tips on the best places to hang out, and standing up for them when they are the only one in the class not speaking the local language. The mightiest change is what happens in cities such as Ghent, where a student organization brings the title of the Erasmus Destination of the Year to its city. The members of ESN Ghent have shown all of us the power of volunteering and young voices, and their collaboration with the University of Ghent has been nothing less than an admirable practice for all of us to look up for and to strive for. ESN International is more than grateful for such a strong relationship that in the end brings more and better mobility. The Erasmus Destination of the Year initiative not only celebrates cities, but also recognizes the collaborative efforts of student organizations, higher education institutions, and the city in creating an environment extremely beneficial for international student mobility. It is this collaborative spirit that we celebrate today. Before we proceed, I want to extend my heartfelt gratitude to our colleagues at the University of Ghent for hosting us, the European Commission for their valuable support in ESN's activities, Interrail and Eurail for supporting sustainable mobility, volunteers who work tirelessly for this event, but also for bettering the lives of international students in Ghent, and everyone who has played a role in making this event possible. Your support is greatly appreciated, and it is because of your commitment that we stand here today. Over the next few hours, we will dive into various aspects of international student mobility, sharing success stories, discussing challenges, and exploring innovative solutions. Let's make the most out of this opportunity to learn, connect, and celebrate Ghent's achievements as the Erasmus Destination of the Year 2023. I encourage you all to engage in conversations, forge new connections, and leave with a renewed sense of inspiration to further contribute to the success of international student mobility. Once again, welcome, and may our time together be filled with enriching experiences, fruitful discussions, and celebration of the global spirit of education. Thank you.
Thank you, Lina. Thank you so much for welcoming us to Ghent, and thank you to all the people who welcomed us here today, including the rector, who has to run, of course, he's a very busy man, and to Slava, who is here on behalf of the Commission. I will again invite Lina to the stage because she's going to tell you what this initiative is all about. So, Lina, come back.
This is why I stayed close. So, first and foremost, about the Erasmus Destination of the Year. What is it? It's quite a new initiative, but it's growing super fast. In one very simple equation, it is basically celebrating the collaboration between the city and the university and local student organizations for supporting more mobility and better mobility. In other words, those are great practices in supporting student mobility at the city level, showcasing the role of local student associations in making their cities better mobility destinations and improving the quality, accessibility, and impact of mobility experiences. And the first ever Erasmus Destination of the Year was Thessaloniki in 2022, crowned at the Erasmus Generation meeting in Portugal, and powered by the Erasmus Plus app. And the current one, where we are here today, in Ghent, also powered by the Erasmus Plus app, we are now at the Erasmus Destination of 2023. So, how does somebody become the Erasmus Destination of the Year? Well, it is still as an internal competition inside of the Erasmus Student Network, where our local associations apply on a city level to become the Erasmus Destination and to prove to us why they deserve this title. And currently, our applications are divided in two parts, 50% for a quantitative analysis and 50% for a qualitative analysis. So we are trying to gather a little bit of everything. When it comes to the quantitative analysis, those are the number of tips submitted in the Erasmus Plus app, combined with the total number of activities on activities.esn.org, which is a centralized platform for all activities for the Erasmus generation. And the other half is where the applicants may explain a bit more in depth to us what do they do to support international student mobility. Is it the collaborations with the higher education institutions or other local stakeholders, other local student organizations, any type of communication initiatives towards the international students, but also the local students to promote mobility and to make their stay at the city the best experience possible. This is something that new that we are trying out this year, to give also a bit of a highlight to, let's say, potential Erasmus destinations of the future, because they might not meet all the requirements yet, but we still want to reward all contributions that they are still doing all over Europe and further for supporting international student mobility. And how is the evaluation going? Once we have this application round closed that I just mentioned, we have a jury choosing 5 finalists, then that they present then at the Erasmus Generation meeting their pitch to become the Erasmus Destination of the Year. So this will be happening during the Erasmus Generation meeting in Seville, 2024, in a few months. Our 5 finalists will present their pitch, and they will have a poster session during the EGM Expo. And then the winner and the 2 runner-ups will be selected by our high-level guests, which will be the external jury, and maybe some of our future jury members are even sitting in this room. Who knows? And the winner will be announced during the big awards ceremony at the end of the Erasmus Generation meeting. So what are we actually awarding? Other than the things I already mentioned, collaboration with key stakeholders. What does that mean? I think that ESN Ghent is a beautiful example of that, and the way they collaborate with the University of Ghent to make the best and the most out of the experiences of international students, but also local students in the city. Any type of supporting the quality mobility experience. This doesn't have to be something very specific, but we are open to hear about new initiatives, new ideas, and new activities that the local student organizations do to ensure the quality mobility experience for its students. Also supporting the diversity and inclusion of the program, and also the centralized way of working, which means also contributing to the promotion of mobility and including the international students from outside of the city that might not be from the cities that the organization is not based in, maybe more rural areas, the ones that maybe they're not that lucky to have organizations such as ESN there yet. And how are we awarding the ones who win this title? Well, first of all, visibility. And it's a huge thing. It's a visibility to the efforts of the volunteers, the visibility of the whole organization, but also to the Erasmus Plus program and mobility in general. And of course, we give them some benefits of giving extra spots for the Erasmus Generation meeting, to give them a chance to also be there extremely visible, to present their cities, and then also promotion on ESN International social media channels, which is why I want to mention that this week you can follow ESN Ghent's Instagram takeover for the whole week on ESN International's Instagram account, where they will tell you a bit more about their activities and basically their team. And to also keep a close eye on the Erasmus Generation blog to read more in the article by ESN Ghent about the experience of international students in the city. And this is something that we are not directly awarding the Erasmus Destinations of the Year for, but it kind of came by its own, which gave us a confirmation of how important and big this initiative, how much of a big potential it has. So these are just a few media articles where Ghent was mentioned as the Erasmus Destination of the Year. So not only the student organization, the Erasmus Plus program, but also the university and the city itself can greatly contribute from this initiative. And I leave you with this question, because we currently have the applications open for the Erasmus Destination of the Year 2024. We will know more in a few months at EGM Seville in April. So I don't know, I keep a close eye on our social media. Maybe join us also at the Erasmus Generation meeting in Seville to find out and to cheer for our finalists and for the next Erasmus Destination of the Year. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lina, for showing us what the Erasmus Destination of the Year is and maybe what it can grow to be. As I said, I was one of the lucky people who actually came up with the idea during a brainstorming session on how to promote the Erasmus Plus app more. So great things can come out of a small brainstorming session, and who knows, maybe this initiative will one day become a key component in promoting Erasmus Plus, but no pressure. Now, ESN Ghent is, like Lina said, is already showing all their best sides on Instagram. So you can follow them there to see exactly what they're doing. But ESN Ghent is a part of a bigger body, of a bigger network, and that also work together quite often. So I would like to invite to the stage representatives of ESN Belgium. Michelle Michelsen, to tell us what exactly ESN Belgium is doing and to show what all the other, how many is it, 14, 15, 16, 17 sections? Well, there you go, they're correcting me. So, welcome, Michelle.
Okay, first of all, I said to my board today, I can't remember, this was in my function description, but it's totally fine. We're just going to do it. So hi, nice to meet you. I'm Michelle. I am the Vice President of ESN Belgium. And today I want to tell you a story. I want to tell you a story about how Belgium is not only the land of chocolate, beer, and fries. And every story has their protagonists. So the protagonist of today is, of course, the lovely ESN Ghent, but what if I tell you that there is more? In Belgium, we have in total 18 sections spread over 11 different cities. And every day they work very hard to do their very best for the students. And how does doing their very best look like? Well, thanks to our network, international students know the stereotypes in Belgium, know the do's and don'ts in order for them to integrate fully and to feel at comfort. Thanks to our network, students, when they arrive in Belgium, they learn how to ride a bike in order for them to safely transport themselves when they are experiencing their Erasmus experience. Thanks to our network, students can learn one of the 3 official Belgian languages together with the local students and native speakers in order for them to fully integrate in Belgium and make their lives easier. Thanks to our network, students know more about the ingredients of sexuality. They have the opportunity to explore their body and explore their sexuality, not alone, but with others, but most importantly, they know that it's okay to explore their sexuality and their body. Thanks to our network, our students know how to react in medical urgent situations, and hopefully in the future they know how to save a life. Thanks to our network, Belgian rivers have never been that clean, and our students know how to live an environmental, sustainable life. So it's thanks to our network that not only the students can live a very rich and experienceful Erasmus, but it's also thanks to our network that we inspire our students to be the positive change in society. And it's thanks to ISN Ghent that today we can show what Belgium is really made of. So dear ISN Ghent, on behalf of the whole Belgian network, I want to say we're extremely, incredibly proud of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, ISN Belgium. I'm actually also an international student in Belgium right now. And although I maybe don't need the integration because I've been here for almost 4 years, it's really lovely to see all the work that at least the local section at my university is doing. I see their banners all around campus. And maybe I would need one of those bike lessons, but I do live in Brussels, so I don't think I don't think I'm that brave. I'll keep to my 2 feet for now and the bus. Thank you so much once again to ISN Belgium. I would like to invite to stage now the president of ESN International, Rita Diaz, who will tell us how exactly is mobility in Belgium looking right now, what are the challenges, what are the obstacles, what are also maybe the good parts of it. We're going to hear all about the good parts throughout the whole day, but take it away, Rita.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for coming and to be here with us today. So here today in my presentation, we are going to explore a bit what Belgium is doing good, what Ghent is doing good, but also what can be improved in the program. So the Erasmus Plus program is one of the most achievable and successful things that the European Union has done, but still there is some things that can be tackled, some things that can be improved throughout the years. So now we are going to explore a bit of this. And how we are going to do this? So basically, ESN Ghent has been listening to their students since 1989, and actually ESN for a long time is also conducting a survey to their students. So with their survey and with also listening to the students, we actually can make policy change and change also in society. So ESN International actually conducts a survey 2 in 2 years called ESN Survey, and we actually recently have closed it in the 31st of July, the survey, and we have collected 23K of answers in total. So as you can see, the students really like to actually also be the ones making change in society and trying to actually improve the program itself. So we actually have collected a lot of answers from Ghent, and thank you so much for University of Ghent to helping us collecting this very good sample of answers. And we have understood that actually the students that actually are doing mobility in Ghent are more prone to answer than the ones that actually are coming from university. And we have also understood, just to give you a bit of a sample characteristics of the results, that actually students, they do an average duration of mobility between 5 and 6 months when they are doing mobility in Ghent. But actually, what we want to explore here today is a closer look into the experience of international students in Ghent. So actually, what our international students are also saying to us through the survey. And we have been seeing here that our students actually came from these countries. So Italy, Spain, Germany, Portugal, France. These are the most common destinations that the students came to Ghent. You can see here that Italy is clearly a preferred destination, but also some people from Croatia. So we actually can see a very good mixture of cultures and also the integration part of intercultural exchange through the program. But actually, we also understood what are the main motivational factors for students to go on exchange. And we can see here that engage with cultures, knowledge of cultures is also one of the big motivations for students to go abroad. But actually, something we have understood, and this is not clear in our big sample of results, but actually it's very clear on the students doing mobility in Ghent, is actually independency is one of the biggest factors that students actually do mobility here in Ghent. Also, we have tried to understand what are the students are happy or not happy about universities, the both sending and the hosting. And we have understood that the students are the most happy with the welcome and orientation events. And I must say that actually ESN Ghent does a brilliant job with this welcome and orientation events. So I think there is also some connection here between what ESN Ghent is doing and also with the collaboration with university to the satisfaction with our students. But actually you can see that also they are doing a brilliant job in mentoring services and access to healthcare services of international students. But like I said, not everything is perfect. Mobility is something to improve, and I'm seeing here some nodding faces looking at the challenges. And actually, lack of financial means, affordable accommodation, and problems with courses are the three main problems that students are facing. And in fact, the two ones are very connected, because if students cannot afford accommodation, they don't have the budget actually to go abroad and to go on mobility. But also ESN tries to support with this, and this is why ESN Ghent has done this wonderful initiative called the Accommodation Guide. And actually you can explore more about how the accommodation, they can actually give more support to accommodation actions through students in Ghent. And actually this was one of the factors that actually ESN Ghent won the Erasmus Destination of the Years, because of their brilliant support to student accommodation throughout the students' journey. But we have also seen some problems with the grants. So this is something that actually we have been tackling a lot in ESN, is the fact of when the grants actually arrive to the pocket of the students. Because we do recognize that the grants should arrive before they go on mobility, and actually it was supposed to be an obligation for students to arrive. And actually we can see that through the last survey we have conducted, that this has been improved. It's been improved, but it's not perfect. So we have seen here there are still students receiving grants after they come on mobility, and this is actually affecting a lot also their financial means to go abroad. But as Svava mentioned actually in their welcome speech, this is the forgotten child of Erasmus+, is the civic engagement part, and we actually have seen that there are still not a lot of students participating in engagement with society activities. So for example, not only in ESN, but also in student unions and other clubs. So there has been a lack of the motivation of students regarding this participation in engagement in local community activities, something that we are also, as ESN, we are trying to improve constantly. But good news, of course, for ESN Ghent. So we have been seeing here that actually ESN Ghent is doing a fantastic job in promoting their activities and their engagement with the local community. So we have seen here that 74% of the students that actually answered the survey that did mobility in Ghent participating in their activities. But of course, there is always space for improvement, and also for our sections to improve their services throughout international students. And then this is why was the main reason for us to collaborate with Eurail here, because we have been seeing here that actually the preferred method of transportation for students is still plane. And actually, even though we are trying to promote more green mobility, more green actions, ESN is also conducting a project on green mobility. We have understood that students still prefer to travel by plane to go better mobility. But it's very interesting because actually bus is being the preferred method of transportation for students to travel between cities, which is already an improvement and a good side that we're actually promoting this more mobility, more sustainable mobility in this aspect. And what were the reasons? And actually these reasons were not the ones that we saw in all the students, but actually for mobility in Ghent, students actually say it's more safe, they have more flexibility and freedom, and they're more, and the last one was environmental friendliness, even though they still prefer to use plane as their method of transportation preferred. And yes, so to finalize, we actually collect some sentences from students. So we want to hear the students have to say with their own words. And we actually have noticed that students wish to return by train as more sustainable means of transportation, but had received no support from sending institution or exchange program, and shouldn't the expense alone again. So they traveled the way by plane on the way back. So with this quantitative analysis, as we call, we also try to understand by the words of the students what they have to say and what can be improved on the program. But this is why we want to make a change. This is why we are here. This is why we are cooperating with Eurail. And during the final conference, we are going to give 5 Interrail passes to students to come back from mobility. So if you register for this event and if you are here, you are probably going to receive a pass. So you are can be one of the chosen ones. And we want to thank, of course, Eurail for supporting us to promote more green mobility and to try actually also to change the life of the students through green actions. So that's it on my side. These were just some brief results from our survey. And we will, of course, continue to listening to our students because This is actually what ESN is about. There was also mentioned in the speech peer-to-peer support, and ESN will continue to listen to all the students throughout all our actions. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rita, for spoiling the surprise. Thank you, Rita, for the presentation. Thank you so much we always talk about we all know the challenges, we all know the struggles, and we all also know all the good sides, so it's good to also see them reflected in the numbers. And I know that numbers, at least, they're not very easy for me. I'm more of a linguistic person. So I would like to send us all to a break. We will be back in 10 minutes, so you're free to mingle, to talk to your colleagues, maybe discuss some of the findings of the survey, or just share your experience in Ghent or on mobility. So I'll see you in 10 minutes. Enjoy. Thank you.
Ja. Waar is die kabel? De kabel gaan we natuurlijk niet zo lang zijn. Gaat de kabel best...
Moet ik hem best hier zetten?
Ja, hier op.
Ja. Ja, hier is het. Oké.
Wordt die nog gebruikt straks? Ja.
Ik vermoed van wel, dat ga je eens moeten vragen.
Want het is eigenlijk het moment dat ze de video gaan willen afspelen, gaan ze niet moeten switchen. Hè?
Ah ja.
Dus ik weet niet wie dat er hier gaat bijblijven.
Ik kan dus ook wel er even bij in de buurt zitten of zo.
Ja. Het is het enige. Nu blijft het gewoon op de pc staan, ze kunnen die presentatie gebruiken.
Ja.
Hè? Maar als jij straks een video wilt afspelen, zou je best nog allemaal klaarzetten. Staat hij klaar nu? Je kan afgespeeld worden zo.
Ik zal hem al op groot scherm zetten. En welke zit dan?
Dan is het gewoon, kijk, je gaat dat zien op het scherm zelf. 3, laptop HDMI.
Ah, ja.
En nu ga u...
Oké, en daarna terug...
Dat doet het gewoon niet.
Misschien moet ik nog mijn... Wacht, hè. Tweede scherm. Ah, wacht, alleen PC-scherm. Ik ga hier nog een naam.
Dupliceren.
Laat ik eerst de video klaarzetten.
Dat dat allemaal gedaan is, van anders...
Ja, finale export. En audio neemt ook normaal. Ik ga die nog eens dubbel nakijken.
Ja, ik ga dan... Het kan zijn dat ik dat nu...
Ja.
Je zult dit wel moeten gaan spelen. We staan nu... Normaal is dat goed zo.
Ja.
Staat
Wacht,
op
ja, nu
dupliceren?
ga ik het hier nog moeten aanpassen, inderdaad. Dupliceren. Normaal. Ik ga zo een beeld kijken. Een beeldscherm instellen.
Is dat die de kabel? De eerste keer is die kabel ik het doe.
Dat is inderdaad een andere.
Is dat een andere?
Ja, het is een andere.
Nou, probeer een die een keer.
Ja.
Dus die wordt eruit dan.
Ah, ja, ik zie mijn muis.
Ja,
Ja, klopt.
Ik wil de eerste keer iets afspelen van de video, dat ik het geluid al een beetje... Is allemaal geluid nu, normaal?
Ja. Wacht, hè. Ja, het komt eruit, maar het is niet luid.
Staat dat hier al maximaal open?
Hier zit hem maximaal, deze hier, hè.
Ja. Goed, dan geef ik wel nog een beetje bij.
Oké, ja.
Gewoon dat ik het weet, daar geef ik wel nog wat bij.
Ja.
Oké, goed.
Oké.
Dus ik ga het nu hier terugzetten, dat op de presentatie weer staat. Jij zet dan gewoon op nummer 3.
3 inderdaad,
en
er
dan
op
een keer
2.
testen. Voilà. En dan kun je direct afspelen. En nadien natuurlijk als je gedaan hebt, er op 2.
Oké, is goed. Ja.
Goed?
Is goed.
Succes.
I will say, we're going to be now watching a video made by students in Ghent, and then you just do your thing, okay?
Okay, sure,
Fantastic.
yeah.
Nina, by the way.
Pieter Jan.
Peter Jan, nice to meet you. You have a very fantastic Flemish name.
Thank you very much.
Okay, very
We
good.
worked really hard on it.
It
so-
looks super well, honestly. I was like, Lina, I'm impressed. I don't know what I was
Thank you,
expecting,
thank
but this is really good. It's very, very nice. You managed to
you
put
very
also the
much.
subtitles?
I'll double check, but that should be fine.
Yeah,
Yes,
okay, perfect.
It's there.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, then you can just stand next to me and you're going to be like, ooh.
Okay,
I'm
and
gonna be
then
like,
I will-
Peter Jan, take it away. And then,
And I will switch afterwards, and you can just leave my laptop here closed. And after the whole presentation, we
okay,
will all take
okay,
them.
okay, fantastic.
Perfect.
Go take a break.
Yes.
Nicolina.
During the video, I'll just sit here too, and then afterwards I'll...
Yeah. Yeah, that works. I'm like trying not to sing. Hello everyone, welcome back. I hope you had a nice break. We're gonna be continuing right now, and the first order in the agenda is a lovely video that was prepared by ESN Ghent that will show you in just with words of many students and themselves what is it that makes Erasmus in Ghent so special. So I will let my colleague Peter Jan to do the technical stuff so I don't mess anything up.
Ghent, the place where it all started. There are many reasons we go on Erasmus. Our studies, our desire to explore, to travel, the possibility of learning new languages and skills, just to name a few. Let's take a closer look at some of our local exchange students and why they chose Ghent as their Erasmus destination.
Hej, jag heter Arvid och jag kommer från Sverige och Frankrike.
Всем привет, меня зовут Бекен, и я из Казахстана.
And who is actually behind ESN Ghent?
My name is Nick. I was a part of ESN Ghent for several years, between 2002 and 2007.
Paul, for me, it started after the international camp for scouts in 1991. I got interested in Erasmus. Finally didn't go, but I joined the Zen, so in 92.
Hello, my name is Felix. ESN is also a very important part of my life. I started to attend ESN activities in the early 90s, and when I became responsible for my faculty in 1992 and became the president of ESN Ghent in 92-93.
Hi, I'm Maria, the partnership manager for ESN.
Hello, I'm Mohammed, and the sports coordinator of ESN Ghent.
ESN Ghent's purpose is to welcome and connect all international students that call Ghent their home, no matter how short the amount of time they spend with us is. That is why we organize multiple events on a regular basis, not only to unite the students, but also to let them know that they will always have a second home here. In other words, that they can make connections that last a lifetime. One of our most popular events, for example, is our International Day. A giant buffet where everyone brings dishes from their own cultures and countries to share. An event where a question as simple as, how do you make this, or is this dish yours, can spark conversation and friction. And if the way to the heart is truly through the stomach, there's no better way to unite our newcomers early in the semester.
It showcases very well, the coming together of different cultures. Of course, it's a great way of meeting people, and of course, the food itself is always different
apart from bringing our international students together, we firmly believe it is essential for them to be able to connect to the local Belgian culture. That is why we always make a conscientious effort to bring them into contact with local students. Over here, any student or alumni can apply to be a buddy and support the incoming international students to make sure our students can explore the city like any local would. Though you may ask yourself what it means to be a local Ghentian. Let's see what these Belgian students did with their buddies and what they can tell us all about our wonderful city.
So always taken for like a tour around the city. One of my favorite spots in the city is actually the Belfry, and you can go like all the way to the top. So we have a really nice overview of the city. And afterwards you go like for a drink, and get a bit more explanation of like other spots in the city. So just really look at it.
To the museums, to tourists, different tourist attractions. But my favorite one was Botanical Garden. I really like places full of nature, because when I go there, I find myself in peace. And I usually go there like alone, but with friends, it's also a really nice day.
I really like the SNAK. I don't know what it stands for, but it's the Museum for Modern Art, I believe. I took a cappuccino in their coffee shop and just sat down and studied. It's right next to the Cinema Park as well, which is, as I said, a beautiful park with so many. Now we know there's so many beautiful colors, but in the end of summer it was really lovely.
I like the freedom that you have to kind of rebuild your life from scratch, so you can basically pick your favorite activities, you can, I don't know, do a lot of things without other people's opinion on you, like foreign opinion on you. It's a space where you're more free to develop your true self, I would say. That's the beauty of it.
As you can see, Ghent offers multiple attractions for locals and internationals alike. However, there is more to the city than our vibrant atmosphere. Studying is, after all, one of the most crucial parts of our Erasmus journey, and the students who land in Ghent are lucky enough to arrive in a place whose main identity is that of a student city. Over 7,000 international students a year opt out to study at Ghent's multiple universities and colleges. Ghent University, our main institution, offers 50 different international masters that offer students the possibility to find a program that fits their capabilities. Yes, indeed, Ghent has a lot of places that you can use to work and study. Even the ASN board benefits from these locations, as we use several of these to hold office hours and meetings. During these office hours, we provide students with information about the city, tickets for any ASN activity, and above all, to be a recurring point of contact for the students throughout the year. One example of how we try to help our students is with the accommodation guide we distribute every year, as finding a home in a new city can be very challenging. In this guide, reliable information about the housing market in Ghent can be found. ESN Ghent not only provides practical information, but also organizes social events. During these activities, students can easily meet and connect with each other and get to know Belgian culture, such as participating in campus. And with the many friends made during our events, we offer them recommendations to enjoy Ghent on their own. In September, one of the first pieces of advice we provide to the students is to take part in the largest student festival in Ghent, the Student Kickoff.
There's a huge party in the beginning of the school year with probabilities. You can just grab a few friends and go to the airport and have a few beers and just have a fun party. it's really easy to have fun.
Next to that, it also encourages locals to get involved in internationalization at home and gives them opportunities to go abroad and meet like-minded people who believe in the same cause.
There's great that a lot of opportunities to join different events on a national and also international levels. So there you see like different faces from different sections. These events, for example, like the Western European platform or this generation meeting, they're very educational. You different workshops, social program,
Going to EGM is possible thanks to a good relation with our international relations officers. This last Erasmus Generation meeting in Bucharest was very important to ESN Ghent because this is the moment we had the opportunity to showcase our section and what ESN Ghent does every day for the incoming international students. Proud to say, Ghent was awarded as Erasmus Destination of 2023 because of all before mentioned reasons. But how did ESN Ghent accomplish this?
Hello, my name is Nick and I was representing the University of Ghent.
Hello, my name is Nico and I was in charge of ESN Ghent between 2022 and 2023.
Hi, my name is Stu and I was responsible for IT in 2022 and 2023.
Because of all the ESNers who put their dedication and passion into creating an amazing mobility experience for all international students. This section would not be ESN Ghent without all the support of our volunteers who believe in unity and diversity and create a welcoming community for international students. Up until today, this is what we aim for. And that's why Ghent, the place where it all started, that is the place to be.
Thank you very much, ESN Ghent, for that amazing video. I actually got emotional a little bit, I'll have to admit. I've never been on Erasmus myself, on Erasmus Academic Mobility at least, and it made me kind of feel FOMO for the first time ever. But thank you for mentioning internationalization at home. That is what made me what I am today, so it's also very, very important, and I'm glad that you showcase that, and I'm glad that you work on that as well, because not everybody can go on mobility, but they can get mobility at home, and that's pretty good. Thank you once again for that, after seeing all of that amazing things that ESN Ghent does, and thanks to all the amazing work that has been done, not just in the previous year, but all the years that came before that, 35 years almost, we will go now to a very interesting panel, which is going to be focused on what makes Ghent so amazing from the perspective of 4 key players when it comes to mobility. We're talking, of course, about the European Commission. We're talking about the university, in this case, Ghent University, the Erasmus Student Network, and, of course, nothing without students themselves. So I would like to invite here to join me, first, Svava Finson from the European Commission. Come. Svava is, yes. Svava is a policy officer at the B1 Higher Education Unit at DG EAC. Her focus is on the implementation of the Erasmus Plus program for students and staff mobility in higher education. She also works on inclusion and the Erasmus Charter for Higher Education. She's a national expert from Iceland. previously working in the international office at University of Iceland as a mobility coordinator. Welcome, Svava, again. Next, I would like to invite Frederik de Dekker, who is, you all know him. Can you join me there? Frederik is, as you all know, the head of the International Relations Office here at his home university, Ghent. He also started his professional career in internalization here almost 30 years ago, which started by his own mobility experience in the Netherlands and Poland. He has held a lot of different responsibilities related to internationalization and educational policy in different Belgian institutions, and also has works on the topics of international projects, internationalization, educational development, qualification frameworks, and quality assurance. He's a man of many skills, and also on the level of of Flanders. So we're very happy to have him here. Also, as once again, I have to say, former ESNer. It's always good to see them. And next up, I would like to invite to the stage my good colleague Yasmin Collier. Yasmin is currently the local representative of ESN Ghent. She did an exchange in Porto, Portugal, and then she started her ESN journey in 2022 as she wanted to continue her mobility experience, as many ESNers do. She was born and raised in Mozambique, but moved to Belgium in 2019 to pursue her studies. She holds a master's degree in political sciences and is currently gaining her first work experience as a trainee for the European Committee of Regions. ESNers in high places, very nice. And last but not least, and very, very important guest today is Simone Rainier Luis Payudan. Simon is a doctoral researcher at the Department of Agricultural Economics at Ghent University. He's originally from the Philippines, and he was an Erasmus exchange student at the same faculty during his master's program, but he liked it so much that he came back, and his interests lie in nutrition and consumer behavior studies as in the international context, so what better place than Belgium and Ghent. And he's a licensed nutrition dietitian, so if you want any tips, he's your man. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. As I said, in ESN, we very much value the point of view of international students. So I would like to start off this first round of questions with Simone himself. You've chosen Ghent originally as your Erasmus destination, and you came from very, very far away. So I wanted to ask, what is it that made you decide for Ghent? What were the deciding factors?
Hello.
Give us a second.
Hello. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Hi, everyone. So, yeah, I was an Erasmus student here during my master program, and just to give some context, back in the day, which was a year ago, we were given the choice in our last semester to pursue a semester elsewhere. So I started my Erasmus in France, and they gave me the liberty to go elsewhere. And at the time, what I wanted to do really was research into food. And when I Googled it, I think the top names that came to mind to the Google search were Ghent University. And I was like, interesting decision to make. So after doing some more reading, I found out that Ghent was really research competitive. So in terms of food studies, so I found a lot of disciplines here that tackle food in all different aspects. And I think that's mostly why I really wanted to pursue my last semester here in Ghent. It's because of the environment as well. And people were very welcoming, and they were really open to collaborating with students. My supervisors were kind, and I also heard from my friends who did their previous semesters here in Ghent that the environment is really welcoming for international students, especially since I came from very far away, like 24 hours by plane. So it was really, it checked all the things on my bucket list. So for somebody who was really interested in food research, yeah.
I would ask if you liked it, but considering you're still with us here, I would say you liked it pretty much.
That's proof enough.
Very, very good. Thank you so much. Yasmin, you were with me in Bucharest this year, and you were part of the team that made Ghent the Erasmus Destination of the Year. Can you tell us what is it that is actually that distinguished Ghent from other cities, and what are the initiatives that you are kind of most proud of?
Oh, do I pull it? Okay, it works. Okay. I think what distinguished us from the other ESN sections and other cities is that we offer a lot of support to our students in terms of, for example, accommodation. We know that in many cities there's a housing crisis, actually a little bit all over. But what we do, as I already said in the video, we have a housing manual where we help students find accommodation. But we also have a Telegram group, so we put incoming students in contact with outgoing students, so it's easier that they find accommodation like that. We also sometimes help one of our board members to avoid scams in housing. We sometimes go check the properties also beforehand, before the student pays something. In terms of, we also help with mental health with the higher education institutions. We disseminate their services, and so we make this. We foster awareness so that the students understand better what are the options that they have and they can choose. And the third thing that I'd like to highlight is the fact that it's difficult for students here in Ghent to sometimes find a student job because it requires them to speak Dutch, but we help them out in finding specific jobs that allows them to speak English. So that if any student has any financial problem, they can easily contact us and we can help them in that way. So, yeah.
Fantastic. You can tell why they got this title. They really blew it out of the park. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Yasmin, so much. Now, Frederik, turning to higher education institution, moving more up. We already heard a bit from Simon, but what is it that you think distinguishes Ghent as a destination for international students? What makes you so special?
I would like to summarize this in 3 words, and these words are quality, quality, and quality. I think the first one is the quality of our education and the learning experience we offer to our students, not only in food sciences, but across the board. I think that it was nice to hear that as a very important argument for our students as well, because I think what we are, of course, a very highly reputed institution, but it also translates in a learning environment where the Belgian students and the international students work together and study together as much as possible. And I think that's very important, even though many international students say they have to work hard while they're here in Ghent. They still look back at that time as a very rewarding time. So that's the first one. The second one is the quality of our support we offer to our students. And that was something that Yasmin also referred to already. We do a lot together with ESN Ghent and other student organizations for that. We have a strong relationship with the city, but also from the International Relations Office, and especially, and they are here, the team of the International Support Team. They do a lot to give the students a warm welcome at their first weeks here in Ghent. We also want to give them a lot of opportunities to meet and mingle during their stay here. And we also want to give our students a long-lasting farewell that stays with them beyond their period here in Ghent. And so also the colleagues at the faculties do a lot to support the students during their stay here. And as I said, this cooperation that we have is crucial there with the student organization like ESN and others alike. And finally, I think also the quality of life here in Ghent, and that was also something that was referred to earlier, both in general and more specifically as a student. We have a city of the right scale. That's something that we hear very often. We have the right balance between culture, history, but also this very vibrant, as we just saw, student life. So I think that this is this third element also plays a very important role that we should not neglect.
Thank you so much. I come also from a university city myself, where I studied, and definitely I can tell you that Ghent is really, truly the perfect student city. Even though I've never studied here, I would love to live here. I mean, don't tempt me. Thank you so much, Slava. We're gonna completely zoom out now, all the way to the EU level. We're now working under the new framework for learning mobility. What are the key components, in your opinion, in the opinion of the Commission, of the new learning mobility framework, and the main ECHE commitments that you consider institutions should keep in mind when it comes to quality mobility experiences?
It's a very good question. But I think in general, if people don't know this, ETCE is the Erasmus student, or not the student charter, it's the charter for the higher education institutions that want to participate in the Erasmus program. So it's the entry ticket, it's the mark of quality. And I really think that it can be better known within institutions. Now, I don't know Ghent University very well as an institution, but in general, I mean, even when I was at the university, people didn't really know about the charter. So I think it's important because the commitments in the charter, they don't relate just to the international office. It's also the professors who are teaching. It's also the staff in the student mobility faculty offices. So in general, I think it's very important. And we also try to build on this for the learning mobility framework because we know the ETCE has been very successful. And so why not build on some quality aspects we have already seen in the Erasmus program. But other aspects I think are really important as well are transparency and inclusion. And by transparency, I mean a variety of different things. For example, just providing information on the opportunities that are available to students so everyone has the same access to information. This is also information about the selection procedures in the universities, the payment arrangement, and when the grant is paid. It's also a question on inclusion. Also, I think it's automatic recognition is something that we both talk about in the charter and the learning mobility framework. And I think it's maybe important that everyone understands better what it really is, because we don't want students to go abroad and then come back with a surprise. They didn't know beforehand what the mobility was going to be evaluated, like how it's going to be recognized. So I think these are pretty important aspects, but I could talk all day about the ETCE. So maybe I should stop now.
You can ask her later about ETCE if you want to, but I like that you mentioned transparency, and I do think that transparency is really key to inclusion, because we talk about a lot about inclusion, but we can see that students are still struggling to find information, and really having the proper access to information is truly the first step to inclusion. So I'm happy that you mentioned that. Very good. Now, I have a question now. I'm going to group them a little bit. So a question to Svava and Frederick. We mentioned institutions quite a lot during this event so far, and the role that they play. So in your opinion, what are the key kind of elements to ensure quality implementation of Erasmus Plus on the city level?
Would you like me to start? Okay, I already referred to that in my previous intervention, that cooperation, I think, is really key there, and that's something that we try to put in place on a daily basis between the higher education institutions, also between the higher education institutions and let's say the city representatives, the city authorities, but also, as I already stressed, the cooperation with student organizations, but also with other key stakeholders. Like, for instance, in Ghent, we have this bike embassy, so that is responsible for renting out bikes to students. We have this cooperation that is focusing on offering language courses to students and so on. And so these are very important elements that contribute to the success of an Erasmus stay abroad. And from the International Relations Office of Ghent University, the cooperation that we've had for over 30 years, as we've said, with ESN Ghent, has been extremely beneficial in many different ways. So we really hope that we will be able to continue to do that, because it is these complementary strengths really offer the broad support basis for students while they're studying abroad. And I think this is really what we need to strive for, that we build on each other's strengths, that we build on the possibilities that all different actors can give to the support in a city like Ghent.
Thank you. Svava?
Yeah, maybe I should have gone first, because I completely agree with you. That's this cooperation with different stakeholders is very important. I think just in general, making students feel welcome, feel this welcome atmosphere that I mentioned that we talk about in the learning mobility framework, it's really important. I think mobility is more than just staying in the classroom. I think we can all agree that it's much more than that. And a lot of different things go into an experience. Something maybe we sometimes forget about, for example, in the participant report, every student has to send in a participant report at the end of the mobility, and there we are asking, for example, about the general satisfaction. And this is not just the satisfaction with the life in the university itself, but it's what's happening in the city. It's the restaurants you go to, it's the sports activities, the arts activities that you undertake. So I think it's important to keep this big aspect in mind, and also that word of mouth plays a really important role in if students go on mobility and where they decide to go. So I think we need these middlemen like the universities and the Students' Association to really bring the students together with the city.
Thank you very much. Like I said, I am an international student in this country, and I can definitely, from my limited experience, see that the more institutions work with other stakeholders, the more quality information you can get, and you can feel more informed about your stay. And I'm so far quite enjoying it, so good job, Belgium. Now, Yasmin and Simon, we've talked also a lot, of course, at an ESN event about the role ESN plays when it comes to student mobility. So I was wondering, from your perspective as international students and also student representatives, how do you believe that mobility experience in Ghent can impact and improve the life of students, of international students?
Well, yeah. So I agree. Staying in Ghent was a life-changing experience. And I'm not just saying that because I'm here in front, but it's true for me at least. I think being in Ghent exposed me to places outside my comfort zone, and it made me realize what I really wanted to do professionally and personally. So, and it also helped me discover things that I didn't know I could do, like I didn't know I could fix a flat tire of a bicycle before coming to Ghent. You know, those little things that all add up to your bank of experiences. And I think the beauty of doing mobility is that you know that it will end someday, that there's a deadline to your mobility. And knowing that makes you really cherish every single day that you stay in a different place, far from home, maximizing all the opportunities you get, meeting new people all the time. And yeah, so it changed my life in a lot of ways, and I wouldn't take it back if I could. Yeah.
Thank you.
I fully agree. But what I would say that as an international student, also having lived 1 year in Ghent, now I'm living in Brussels, but how did Ghent impact me? I mean, in too many ways, but one of the things that I would highlight is the fact that Ghent is the perfect size, as you said. It's a very good, it's exactly, the scope is like really good, not too big, not too small. And this allows you to create deeper connections with people. You don't feel lost in the city. You can start your day not knowing with any plans what you're going to do, but you stumble upon someone, one of your friends or university students, and you make plans on the spot because the city is small enough that allows you to do these things. So, and this allows you to, how I said already, foster deeper connections. So I think doing a mobility in Ghent impacts your life in that way. But I also think Ghent is a very cultural city. The fact that we have the museum nights once a year really also impacts people, allows the students to not just experience going on Erasmus, but also having this cultural experience part of them, for them also. And then another thing that I think doing an Erasmus in Ghent also, because it's perfectly located in the sense that it's not too small, not too far from other cities. For example, many of our students, they go to Amsterdam or they go to Maastricht or something like this. It really allows them to also broaden their horizons, I would say, their cultural exchanges. So yeah, that's how I would say it impacts students.
Very, very nice. I think both of your answers tie perfectly to what Svava said, that Erasmus is not just what happens in classroom, but everywhere else. So it really shows that it is important that the city that you're in is taking care of you in a way. Very, very nice. Thank you so much to you two as well. And one last question to everyone. We have seen Rita's presentation about the challenges. Now Erasmus Plus has been around for 36 years. It has definitely grown a lot, both in the scope but also in the quality. But of course, still challenges remain, and we've seen it from her numbers. We hear it also every day that we work with students. We feel it as students ourselves. So going forward, if you could have like one wish for the Erasmus Plus program for it to improve, what would that wish be? Who wants to go can go.
I can. For me, I would really love to see, it has already been mentioned, but I would really, and I'm here to reinforce it, but I would really like to see the Erasmus Mobility Program being a bit more sustainable. Because unfortunately, we're students, we choose the cheapest option of transport, and unfortunately, it's planes. And I really like the initiative that the European Union gives us some sort of grant to cover some, if you choose a green option, but it only covers a very small proportion. So I would really like in the future, in the coming future, hopefully, to see some more support in that. Yeah, some more incentives, I would say. Yeah.
Thank you.
If you choose sustainability as one of the horizontal priorities, I will go for inclusion. I had written down one element here on my preparation, which is AISBL, by the way, the European Charter for Higher Education. I would love that all higher education institutions would abide to these principles, because I think from an inclusion perspective, a lot is already there. It's in the AISBL, there's also a lot in the so-called ECTS Users Guide. So we have the material at hand to make the program more inclusive, especially with regard to assuring full recognition of what students did abroad. Because in a lot of studies, and that was also something that Rita highlighted in the ESN 2023 survey, financial hurdles are often cited, but I think recognition is something that we very often oversee. If a student is not sure that what he will do abroad is fully recognized, then that student will not opt for an Erasmus stay abroad. And from an inclusion perspective, I think that's a very important threshold that we have to take away. Because this is my ultimate dream, that Erasmus will be on the radar of all students who start higher education, which at this moment is not the case. A lot of students think that Erasmus is not for them for many reasons, whereas we have a lot of support mechanisms in place already. And so if we make that clear to all potential Erasmus students, I hope that more students will will make the choice to go on Erasmus stay abroad, even those that think that it's not for them for many reasons. So that's my wish for the future.
Thank you.
Okay. I agree with the first two wishes, but for me, I think my wish is to see one day that information will be really transparent and streamlined, because even now there are some stories of people being, given the wrong information or maybe even being scammed. And what was said earlier about being transparent is really important. So I think that's what I want to see out of the Erasmus program, to give everyone fair footing by having all the necessary information to begin with, so that they can truly focus on the mobility experience and not all these, anxiety-inducing misinformation and fake news. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, I very much agree with what you said. My wish is also connected to the recognition. My personal wish is that when higher education institutions are deciding on whether to accept the courses that the student is going to take, that they maybe be a little more flexible and not just go course matching a specific course. So a little more flexibility from the institutional side, and definitely more focus on the recognition, so that students can go abroad and be really sure to get their courses transferred back. So that's my little dream.
All of ours. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to all the panelists for answering all the questions. I hope you got something out of it. I hope they also confirmed your own kind of anxieties and your own wishes. I know that they have mine, and then all the stories that I've heard as well from students. Thank you once again. A big round of applause for our quartet here. Thank you. Now we only have two more things to do. I know a lot of you are looking forward to what's coming next. I would like to invite to the stage my colleagues from ESN Ghent, who will announce the amazing Interrail winners. Some of you will get your chance to travel green home, so let's go Ghent.
Hi everyone, for those of you who don't know us, we are the communication managers, communication team of ESN Ghent of this year, and we are very pleased to announce the 5 lucky people who got an Interrail pass, and the following are their names. Naimur Rehman.
Toby. Tobias Kruzmer.
Saga Forst.
Anna Maria Piger.
And the last one, Hanna Slabov.
The lucky 5 winners will be communicated further by ESN Ghent and ESN International how they can get their passes. But round of applause for them as well. They're very excited. We are 5 students closer to Green Erasmus. Let's go. Thank you so much again for joining us. I would like to invite now to the stage Rita to close off the event. And yes, Rita, join us, please. Thank you.
Okay, thank you once again. I know that I'm the one between the food and you, so I'm going to be very short and to make this fast as possible. So firstly, I want to thank all of you for coming. It's super important for us to be here, not only the 3 levels of ESN International, ESN Belgium, ESN Ghent, but also international students. It's for you that we are fighting every day, and it's for you that we're actually trying to make change in society. And you were speaking here about wishes, and actually ESN has been wishing for a long, long time to improve the grants of international students. And actually today we have received a very interesting news from our colleagues from the European Commission, and actually we are very happy to announce that the grants for internationals are going to be increased through travel support, so for you to travel also more sustainably, but also travel support. And this has been a fight for ESN for many, many years. We are also very, very happy to be able also here first to speak with you and to announce this and to disclose this to you, that probably the next persons that are going to be in your spot and your position are going to have more financial means to go abroad and to experience also what you are experiencing. And I have to say it's also a bit emotional for me because in 2017 I was international in Leuven, so a city very close to here. And this experience to be an international student actually allowed me to discover more what was to meet with the other people, to meet with the other cultures, but also to join ESN. And I also want to thank the volunteers of ESN Ghent, of ESN Belgium, for all the support they are giving to our network and for all the amazing things that they are doing to support international mobility. With this, I want to thank you all for coming. Thank you all also for our partners to providing us the space and for the European Commission to be here with us, but also to the rector to be here. And wishing you very successful with your international experiences, and let us know also what you are doing in the future. Thank you so much and see you soon.
Thank you, Rita. Thank you also from my side, all of you, for carefully listening and paying attention. And I hope you enjoyed the event. Like I said in the beginning, also at another point, because I like to brag about it, I was one of the people who came up with the idea. And I'm very happy that this event that we kind of dreamed of, what was it, like 6 months ago, we were discussing also in a meeting about this. I'm happy that it came to be. So thank you so much to University of Ghent and to have us here. And I cannot wait to see where this event goes further. Also can't wait to see ESN Ghent grow even more. In the next 30, 35 years, you're going to be still amazing. Thank you so much. Now you can move to the next room where you have the little networking event that we've organized for you. I hope you enjoy it, mingle, get to know each other a little bit, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Petrian.
editing, because I did the editing in the...
Amazing. Do you want to join ESN International?
Let's go.
The video was incredible. You were seeing yesterday and I was super emotional.
Zoe was in the exhibition. No, I saw it yesterday, but I got super emotional watching it now. I don't know what it is. So very, very good. You should apply for
we always find more work to do.
That's amazing.